Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 2 of the Flyway Focus. Had a lot of good feedback to the first episode here, so I thought I'd make another one. It's the night before for the day of the next big poker night. I think we've got a big group of people. It's going to be a big pot. It's going to be lots of fun. So everyone's excited, and yeah. So here I just wanted to touch base on another episode since I had such quality feedback, and I wanted to share my points on a couple topics. First, so today's topic is going to be all about media consumption and just kind of like what is the appropriate amount, what is the right way to go about consuming media, and by that I mean everything from hard news to YouTube to Instagram. And I have a lot of thoughts about it, so I want to share and some helpful tips that might serve you as well. So, quick update here. Next week, we're planning to hopefully have the Kody Holen attend our on the show. He is my best friend, I will say it, and he lives in Butte, Montana, and currently he runs his own handyman contract business. He kind of covers everything on the house from drywall, woodworking. He doesn't do as much electrical or plumbing, but he kind of covers everything else in between siding. And yeah, so he's in what, year 2 or 3 of his business out there, I believe, and he's kind of done it for a while. He likes remodeling kitchens. Very excited to have him on and share. And if you go back and see previous episodes were about involved some of the fantasy football cast members and their thoughts, and I thought those went very well. So kind of expect more of the same out of Cody. So, all right, today, like I said, we'll see how long this goes, but I just want to talk about media and my different thoughts on it. So, first off, I want to talk about the big change I'm seeing is we're experiencing a written to oral culture change. And by what I mean by that is, for thousands of years before the printing press, essentially, it was all oral traditions. That's how you pass things down. Books were non-existent or basically only held by the church because like things just weren't as permanent. The elements um, yeah, so it was just oral culture. It was more about your charisma and how you presented yourself to a group of people and things of that nature. Whereas, once the written word came about, it's like, okay, like you could get, some good hard facts down in, books, and you can disperse those and people would read those. There wasn't television back in the 1600s, but there was lots and lots of books, especially with like, you'll hear stories about the UK or yeah, United Kingdom's probably the peak of written culture back in the 1800s when Charles Dickens was all over the place, and I think Jane Austen, she wrote Pride and Prejudice. Like it was all about books all the time, and there wasn't even radio to like disperse knowledge. So the written word was very powerful. But now we're seeing with short form video and especially smartphones. I don't even think TV really killed it because you watch TV, everybody kind of watched the same channel, so there was still this like shared connection. But now with smartphones and YouTube and all these other apps, like you're just able to really curate content to yourself, and now we kind of like resort back to our tribes, you could say, and trusting those people instead of like the larger mass media. So there's pros and cons to each. I don't think I don't think it's good, but I also think this is just a change that happens over the course of human history, and you have to adapt. So here I'm going to start with an article from Joe Weisenthal, and he just kind of talks about how well, this is lightly covering Trump. This isn't anything too crazy, but he just kind of writes how Trump was really he wasn't the cause or any of but he was definitely emboldened. Well, not emboldened. He definitely was like, okay, this is a change from written to oral culture, and by that I mean Trump. He's got charisma. He hosted a successful television show. Maybe not so much businesses, but The Apprentice was very popular. And you know what? He's funny. He tells jokes. He can like come off. He has charisma, as I said. So like, and with Trump, rather than like he's not like Barack Obama where he's writing big speeches and big ideas and things like that. He just kind of pounds the same information, whether it's immigrants taking over or interest rates are too damn high. Like people just kind of connect with that and like with our broken broken up media system. And by that I mean, 40 years ago there was like three channels. You had, NBC, ABC, and CBS, and nothing else basically. So everyone kind of like watched those same channels and, kind of had the shared culture of those shows and, watch the same commercials. And now that isn't here anymore. And so now we're kind of back to this oral culture and like, feelings of trust and kind of like the strong man. And Trump really used that to his advantage. And so, the written word is not dead, but it's just our brains are wired to like, consume these short form videos for whatever reason. I think it's because like they just get our attention, they're curated. Like when you watch these videos, it's like they're talking to you, whereas if you read an article, they're just like it's more general and just not as fun to read as it is to like watch a bunch of memes and stuff. So, anyways, this is a good article. Joe Weisenthal, he's on this podcast. Odd Lots. They really cover a lot of different topics from interest rates to Bitcoin to coffee bean crisis and stuff like that. So, what I'm going to do next is just kind of show you a few things I've noticed over the course of my years, like YouTube and how they change. So, here's one guy I followed back when I was trying to you know, think about what I wanted to do. So this was before even like when I was a diesel mechanic, I was like infrastructure, and this guy he was very helpful. He broke things down. I mean, you can see he's got a lot of views here. Um, to the point, introduction to hacking or TCP IP protocol, just very helpful. It was kind of fun to listen to, and we won't watch the whole thing here, but he does a good job talking and right using the whiteboard and just did a great job. And so, but it's interesting because he's really stuck with his channel and you can see like how, he's got these old grainy videos and now he's kind of like migrated to like, the tech bro, I'm in a desk, I'm talking to you kind of personal style. And he's got a lot of content. Obviously, I doubt this guy's married. I don't know for sure because I don't watch a lot, but if anyone's posting this much, it's just like, um, I'm not sure what you're doing. Oh, so another thing I just want to talk about because I mentioned incentives in the last episode, like a lot of the money that newspapers got was from like personal ads because there was nothing else. Well, now, like people are making these videos for trying to make some money basically. And so, but really it's not that much. So here, this is just an example. Once again, I'm not an expert, but here, daily views. If you get 4,000 daily views, you know, high income country, I'm just selecting category tech. Um, you can basically expect to earn 16 bucks a day, maybe. Like that is not going to displace your full-time job. And so like here we have these highly educational videos. Granted, these are like 360,000, but his newest episodes are kind of more like 14K or whatever total. And so he's doing this as a passion project more than anything now. You're not getting like making that money, but if you don't have like if this is your passion, that's great. But really, I think you should be out visiting with people and instead. It's great he's sharing his knowledge, but I feel like unless you're getting, I don't know, unless you're getting like two, $300,000, you're doing it as like a friend group and not a full-time job. So yeah, and just interesting to see how he's changed his style up and stuff. So he's still like pretty like let's explain the knowledge and go from there. But if you go to some other guy who this guy's pretty terrible, but Hasanabi, like you'll see all here's all his videos. He's like, you have these big buzzwords in the episodes. You're trying to get like grab as much attention as you can. And so this is how YouTube works now. Like I subscribe to premium, very happy with it. I can tolerate ads in HBO or Netflix because I'm already just watching junks and not being productive. But with YouTube, there's a lot of like Ford repair video or vehicle repair videos that I enjoy, and I don't want to sit through commercials. It's like $10 a month, so through Verizon, so I'm happy with it. I will pay for this at least over Spotify. But yeah, you'll see all these episodes now, like people who want to get these big views, like that's how they get it. You get faces, like you have startling statements, like China is overtaking blah blah blah, or another guy who I don't care for, Ben Shapiro. And this Hasanabi, he's kind of like a supposedly left guy, but he's like just full of shit. And so, anyways, yeah, Ben Shapiro um, owns or does whatever, and just trying to like get these big interactions. And probably the best guy at it is Mr. Beast, of course, but he's doing a different thing. But this is how he does it, big projects, and I could go on and on. But anyways, so YouTube, we have it here. They try to, I do have interest in Age of Empires or tech and everything, but like, before YouTube, it was just you had to search for videos that you wanted to see, and now they're like just pushing these videos, and it's like, okay, they're kind of interesting, but at the same time, like, do I need to see it? Are these actually productive? No, but they know like posting these shorts, like Silicon Valley, a lot of funny moments. And so, I love to see it, but is this actually productive for me? And the answer is like no. And I'm not sure throughout your day, like what the amount of appropriate time to spend on social media, but I do feel like it's less than an hour. And I definitely spend more time doing that. And now that I'm working full time again at my job as a data engineer, I spend a lot of time staring at the screen basically, and I don't think it's good for me. So I'd like that to change. And so I'll get to it at the end of it here, but I'll just continue kind of going through and showing just what my feed looks like because everyone, it's different. It's curated to what they think you want to look at, and you know what? They're damn good at it. So um, you have to like discipline yourself. Same thing with like if you're watching your weight, at the end of the day, it comes down to you. But like these companies have worked overtime to find the right formula of corn syrup and sugar to get you hooked and, consume their products. And YouTube is no different. So here, just once again, this is my YouTube feed. There's like a bunch of interesting things, but like, are they really relevant all the time? The answer is no. Like I said, I have work and a family now and do things other than that. So we'll just go over to Snapchat now. This I don't use it as much because like the one thing Facebook has is this whole ecosystem of Instagram and Facebook and like just kind of like connects you that way. And Snapchat still kind of has that personal feel. Um, the web version is not that bad. Really, really isn't. And when you go on the app itself, that's when it kind of like you get, yes, you see your friends, but here, let me see if I can make my picture bigger here for a second. But you can kind of see like it's all this bullshit, and it's like actors or there's ads, there's some Vikings and stuff, but like it just kind of shows like what's going on here, like it's all crap, there's nothing good about any of this. I'm not interested, but like, sometimes it's just like, oh yeah, like this guy here on the right, he's got his podcast and some kind of provocative stuff, but like I don't follow, but I'll click and like you just got to discipline yourself to not be on those. And it's tough because they design it like crack. And so Snapchat web version isn't that like great. Um, Come over here to Instagram, what their whole tactic, because like 5, 10 years ago, it was just, people's Facebook feed or stuff you follow. And now it's just kind of like promoting, Zuck. Do I even follow him? I guess I am. Um, he's kind of, he's interesting, but it's like all definitely a PR thing. There's all this crap. I keep saying crap a lot because it's true. Some of it's interesting, but for the most part, like you just don't need to be this informed. Like they're pushing stuff towards you. It doesn't actually like help you become a smarter person by watching these things. So yeah, just growing through here, you can kind of see what's going on, but yeah, and most of it like turns into like funny videos or maybe like e-girlies or like basically hookers, like let's be honest, OnlyFans and all this stuff like not helpful in the scheme of things, but people click on that. And so here we have Facebook again. I'll just bring this up, I don't go on it as often. It's just I think there's a ebb and flow for apps and like you always see these notifications because they're trying to get you hooked. So like, yes, I'm happy it's this Clinton's Axelson's birthday, but I haven't spoken to him in 10 years. And like, I think I've tried to turn these off, delete this notification here. Maybe that's good. But sometimes I'll have like a four notification thing and it's like CBS, ABC or whatever, I want this stuff for friend requests or like things dealing with the posts. And you just got to filter through it. So that's just the way life is. And then like another egregious example is LinkedIn. I'm on it quite a bit now of late, but like you'll see 10 notifications of like none of these are actually like vital. And maybe you can curate these a little bit more, but they just want to get you hooked and stay on your platform. And they're effective at it. So let's talk about it. What is the appropriate way to consume media? Like, a lot of people say like, are you informed? Are you not informed enough? And my honest advice is just be a normal person. Like, spend less time on the internet, hang out with family and friends. Like, you're not actually missing that many things by not being on the internet. And I think that's unhealthy. It's hacked our brain. It's kind of rewiring things. And this is back to that oral culture because if you go back to when we were in like tribes and stuff, like if person who noticed the poisonous snake on the ground, those are the people that survived. Whereas like the carefree people are going to get bitten by. So we're humans are highly neurotic and we're just evolved to like worry about everything. It's not healthy. Go outside, touch grass, like politics is going to be, yes, it is important to understand taxes and all that, but like find good people, elect them, and then let them make those decisions. And if things aren't going well or egg prices are too high, vote accordingly. But like, don't worry about the day-to-day stuff. There's much more effective ways to spend your time. So I guess my overall view is like less than an hour of social media, probably. Video games, definitely less than an hour as well. We have more leisure time than we did 100 years ago. Before we were just working nonstop and didn't have a lot of free time. So that's kind of where we were at on there. So yeah, just find a happy medium, what works for you, but like less is better. Yeah. And then there's a couple other topics, so I'll get to for the next episode. And before I pick an out or anything, but one I will talk about kind of the fertility crisis and the role of women. So that'll be a little bit spicy, but I think my overview is like we need to have a healthy population, like, and it's a free country, so you don't need to have kids, but like kids are the ones who are going to take care of the old people down the line, nursing home doctors, blah, blah, blah. So if you don't have kids, that is fine. That is fine. But, we kind of are part of this social contract to, make this country and place a better world, basically. So if you're not having kids, like, spending your time, I don't know, boys and girls club, stuff like that. And yeah, that one I'm very excited to go through, and I think I'll have a little bit better opinions and stuff like that. Yeah, because I think there's a lot there. For example, like, before we had abortion, or well, not before abortion, but before we had over-the-counter pill, there used to be a lot more kids. We used to have like more orphanages and just people could adopt kids wherever, whereas now you'll hear about people in their adoption journey, and it's just really tough to go through kids. One, because there's not as many as there used to be, and two, like, there's a lot of litigation, and you want to make sure these kids are going to a good household, but other kids who are just born to bad parents, that's whatever. So that seems to be fine. And then I'll also touch like kind of well, I'll touch briefly on this next one. So return to office mandates, has been very interesting and relevant for some of us tech people. First of all, it's very fortunate to be able to have a job that um, you can work remote at different points in time, and not everyone can do that. And that so like I think we're a little bit spoiled in that sense. Like for me right now, it's they just switched from 2 to 3 days in the office per week, and I enjoy being there. I'm a low-level employee, so I have a lot to learn at the moment. But if you're like a 10x developer or, a senior guy who are like, I can do all this shit from home, like, of course you're going to want to be from home. But I think it's important to get that interaction with your coworkers in at the end of the day, and it also really helps the new guys who, I think it helps answering questions and in person and things like that. And one interesting company, because like you hear about Elon, office federal workers have to come back to the office. I think part of it is a way to like get people to quit, but a lot of, they are just trying to cut a lot of jobs and worry about the consequences later because that's worked for them in the past. But a lot of these people who have taken these federal jobs, like their the contract is like they're going to take these lower paying jobs than they would in the private sector, but instead they'll be able to serve their country and hopefully, make things better and then like a pension at the end of it. So I think that's a little messy at the moment, but we'll kind of see what happens. Another good example is Jamie Dimon. He's uh the JP Morgan Chase guy, and he is kind of like, the big deal. And he just instituted a return to office mandate not too long ago, so 5 days a week now, and there was kind of a backlash against that because, like, listen, for me, I have a daughter and gonna have a second on the way, and like it's nice to be able to have one day a week where it's like, okay, I can get my work done, but also like do an office visit or something of that. Um, um, basically, you got to run errands, and sometimes it's more convenient during the week than it is on the weekend. And JP Morgan Chase, so they're kind of the front runners here in changing this. And actually, their stock has been down since they announced the full return to office mandate like a month ago. So that's kind of funny. Well, now it's back up again. Funny how the stock market works. So we'll see what happens there. But unfortunately, if this like goes well, then everybody else is gonna continue to do that. So find the right companies, and if you're a good developer or high level, you're gonna have no problem. But not everyone's gonna feel that luxury. So um, yeah, that's kind of my thoughts there. Yep, reach that 20-minute mark again. So we'll get that out, and we'll see everybody at poker tonight. And thanks for watching.